Yo, what's going on, everybody? So today we're talking about the 6 biggest mixing mistakes that you can make in Ableton. And if you're doing these correctly already, you're going to be miles ahead of the competition, because each one of these things can be so detrimental to your mixes. So without any further ado, let's get right into this. All right, guys, so the first thing, and this is overlooked so much you wouldn't even believe it, is literally the volume fader right here. So guys, you can literally expand this to go bigger or smaller, and I think by default they have it down pretty low, like somewhere around here. But the problem with that is you cannot get precise estimates on the gain and leveling of each of your tracks. Guys, go ahead and bump this up right about there, maybe even higher. Go as high as you want to go, because that's going to let you get even more detail when you're leveling each track, and it's going to be quicker too. So definitely don't forget to do that. All right, so the second mistake is not using all of your knobs when you're using simpler sampler to make your MIDI. So guys, check it out. When we're over here using this volume knob is super important. If you need the sample to be louder than it actually is, turn this to -8 instead of -12. Hell, you could put it to 0 and then go down with your volume fader. That's one potential thing. Using the release, sustain, and decay and the attack can shape the sound and make it tighter than you want it to be. Also, another thing I use all the time is this one-shot mode right here. Literally, all you have to do is click it one time and it's going to play the whole length of the note. Very, very useful for 808 patterns and 808 notes. And in your controls, you have way more stuff over here. Things that I use all the time is the transposition, the tuning. If I want my 808 glides to be on, you can use the glides over here. So make sure you're taking advantage of all of these controls, because it's going to save you so much time and headache on your samples when you're mixing. All right, time for the third mistake. So this one's honestly going to help save you CPU and time like crazy. So what you're going to start doing is actually using your groups, sends, and returns more often. For example, all of my melodies are in a melody group here. And as you can see, I have some EQs on them that I'm EQing as a whole. So I don't have to go do each individual one. I can do them all together. Also saving me CPU, so I don't have to have that plugin on every single track. Another thing are your sends and returns, right? If there's certain plugins that you want to put on multiple different tracks, or there's certain, effect racks or different things that you're trying to use these. And it's really as simple as, let's say you throw some effects right here, like I got this distortion plugin on here. Now I go to the track I want to use and I turn it up. You can use this as a percentage amount, right? So that's how much you're really sending to that track. It's going to make it louder, and it's going to add all of those effects, and you can do it to as many tracks as you want. It's going to save you so much time and energy. All right, so for number 4, if you've been following the channel for a while, you may have heard me say this before, but use a default template. Now, what does that mean? That is how Ableton opens up when you start a new track. What files, what tracks are already there, and what plugins are already there, right? So for mixing, you can go ahead and set up all the tracks you normally use, like a kick, 808, snare, clap, maybe some melodies, some different things that you want to throw in there, and then you can already throw your EQs on those tracks. You don't have to go and find those plugins. Throw all the plugins on the tracks that you would normally use, so that way it's going to save you that much time, and when you're ready to mix, you can just open it up and go without having to search for all these different plugins. Default templates will save you so much time and make your mixing so much easier. All right, so the 5th mistake comes down to the hardware you are using. Guys, it's super important that you're using good hardware so that you can hear the sound as it actually is, and not all the crazy noisy stuff that's happening with interference and God knows what else. The first thing is the audio interface. You need to have a decent audio interface. The better it is, the better that you're going to be hearing the sound that's coming from your DAW. Seriously, it really does make a huge difference. Also, if you're using headphones or speakers, the speakers or headphones that you buy are very important as well. How good is your mix going to be if you use Apple earbuds versus a nice pair of speakers or headphones that are made for mixing? Make sure you're using quality gear so that you can hear the sound how it's supposed to be, and you have the best possible chances of getting the best mix. All right, last but not least, mistake number 6, and this could be the most detrimental one of them all, is making sure that you're starting with good sounds. I'm talking about good drum sounds, good melodies, good sound selection. That is so important. And guess what? We just dropped a new drum kit with all of the craziest sounds, anything you're ever going to need in 2022. And if you've been following the channel, you probably heard me talk about it quite a bit because we've been working on it for at least 6 months. So literally it just dropped last week Friday, and if you want to go grab it, there's a link for it in the description below. It goes crazy. That's all I can say, and you will not be disappointed. All right, guys, so those are the 6 biggest mistakes that Ableton producers make when they're mixing. So we covered all those, and if you're doing those, you're doing a great job, but we still haven't shown how I go from start to finish when I'm mixing a beat. So if you're interested in seeing how I mix a beat from start to finish, go ahead and click on this video right here. This is the ultimate advanced guide on how I do it start to finish every single time. And that's it, guys. I'll catch you guys again in the next one. Peace out, gang.